What is going on, everyone? Nick here, and Happy New Year, everyone. I'm back with another video, and this time I wanted to talk about the recent announcement that the Mandalorian and Grogu will be heading to the big screen. So this news dropped officially from Lucasfilm earlier today that the next adventure Din Djarin and Grogu will go on will be heading to the big screen. So this does come as a little bit of a surprise because last we had heard, the thought of a fourth season of The Mandalorian was somewhat up in the air. We had heard that Jon Favreau was busy writing scripts for a prospective fourth season, but it was all, kind of on the back burner because they were leading up to other shows and of course this big Dave Filoni crossover movie, which was supposed to be the culmination of all of these stories that have been, brought up thus far, like in Ahsoka, the Book of Boba Fett, The Mandalorian, and the other spin-off shows. So it's all going to be set in this post-Return of the Jedi era with Grand Admiral Thrawn. So now we have this news of a fourth season being kind of retroactively turned into a movie for the big screen. Now, according to Lucasfilm, production on the film will begin this year, 2024. Jon Favreau had this to say about the movie: "I have loved telling stories in the rich world that George Lucas created. The prospect of bringing Mando and his apprentice Grogu to the big screen is extremely exciting." Kathleen Kennedy had this to add: "Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have ushered into Star Wars two new and beloved characters, and this new story is a perfect fit for the big screen." Lucasfilm went on to say that The Mandalorian and Grogu will lead their ongoing feature development slate, including films helmed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, James Mangold, and Dave Filoni, who is also currently developing Ahsoka Season 2 among those in the works. So I think the big question here is, do people care enough to see Din Djarin and Grogu on the big screen? And that isn't actually as easy to answer as it would have been, after maybe Season 2 of Mando, perhaps. A lot has happened within the landscape of Star Wars fandom over the past few years. Obviously, the sequel trilogy was incredibly divisive, and the shows have also been kind of divisive too, and a lot of people agree that the quality has really dropped off on Disney Plus with these small screen TV shows. People loved the Mando Season 1, they obviously liked Season 2 a lot, and Season 2 really culminated in this giant sort of epic finale when Luke Skywalker came back and took Grogu off to begin Jedi training. A bit of that story arc was undone in the Book of Boba Fett when Mando went to pick up Grogu from Luke and brought him back, and he was a big part of Mando Season 3. People also look at The Mandalorian Season 3 with a bit of a mixed bag. A lot of the episodes were good, but here and there the overall story didn't really seem to go anywhere interesting for people, and they felt that the quality had really dropped off from where it was in those first two seasons. So let me know what you guys think about this. Do you still care to actually see the further adventures of The Mandalorian and Grogu, and would a big screen movie actually entice you to go out to the theater and pay, whatever the ticket fees are these days? I mean, it's almost $20 to go see a movie basically nowadays. So that's why they really have these big event movies few and far between, and trying to bring in the Disney Plus content to have people hold over, in between these big movies. Another interesting thing to see here is what the carryover is going to be with this movie. The Mandalorian is a Disney Plus show, so will people be willing to go to theaters to actually see it, and what are they going to have, in terms of their expectations? Because what if you have someone that's like, oh, I like Star Wars, but I never really watched Mandalorian, I heard it was good. Grogu, they probably heard about in pop culture, but they never actually watched the show. If they go see this movie, are they going to be lost? Because they're really going to have to catch up on 3 seasons of The Mandalorian, along with the Book of Boba Fett. So drop your thoughts down in the comments below. A lot to think about. Definitely an interesting prospect though, and interesting that they're really fast-tracking this movie, because first we had heard it was going to be the new Jedi Order movie coming out in 2026, which is going to bring back Rey and, be after the rise of Skywalker. But now it seems like this movie is actually taking the spot of the next theatrical release for Star Wars. If you guys are new to the channel and you like this video, subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified whenever I drop new content. If you want to hit me up on social media to talk about this news or anything really, you can find me in the links down below. And with all that being said, I'll catch you guys next time.